So in this video, I'm going to talk about nitriles to carboxylic acids. And any nitrile will work, but in this case, I'm going to use acetonitrile. And it so happens that if you take any nitrile and you add it in acid, you'll actually get the carboxylic acid. Yeah, it will get the carboxylic acid. Now, how does this happen? Well, let's go through the mechanism. Yeah, so if we throw this molecule into solution with H3O plus, what will happen? Well, the nitrogen is very nucleophilic, and so it'll actually seek a hydrogen and form water in solution. And so when that happens, we actually get a carbon that's bonded to a nitrogen. Now remember, nitrogen has 4 bonds to it. It's now plus, formerly has a +1 formal charge. Now what do you guys think will happen in the next step? Well, we actually just formed water in solution. And so because we just formed water in solution, it'll actually come in and attack the carbon, okay, and uses these electrons to form lone pair on the nitrogen. And so when that happens, we come to a structure that looks like this. Now I have a double bonded nitrogen, so my structure will look something like this. Nitrogen still have that one hydrogen, okay, and here's my oxygen that now has 2 hydrogen, so it has a formally +1 formal charge. Okay, so what do you guys think will happen in the next step? Well, we still have water in solution, and it will come in and act as a base and take one of those protons off and give that bond in the form of lone pairs to the oxygen. So we come to neutralize the molecule in that sense. Okay, so now we have our nitrogen, still have our hydrogen, but now this is an OH. Okay, now what will happen in the next step? Well, remember, this nitrogen now has the lone pairs. Okay, this nitrogen now has the lone pairs and it's seeking protonation. So we just formed acid in solution. Okay, so this is going to come in, attack the hydrogen and form water in solution, and so it's going to gain a proton. And so if we're looking at this, we have the benzene ring, we have the double bond to the nitrogen that now has 2 hydrogens. Well, nitrogen 4 bonds +1 formal charge automatically, and we still have our alcohol group out here. Now, what do you guys think will happen in the next step? In the next step, remember there's a bond between the oxygen and the alcohol. So these electrons are going to come in, form a double bond, and use these pi electrons to put a lone pair on the nitrogen. And so if that is true, okay, we get something to look like this. Now we have a double bond to a ketone, to the oxygen, okay, and now we have nitrogen with 2 hydrogens. Okay, we say this is neutrally charged now. Okay, so we come to a structure that looks like this. Now, because nitrogen will want to leave, we'll actually gain protonation again. So here's our oxygen, has a plus charge, so it will come in and attack one of those hydrogens and give the bond in the form of lone pair to the now water molecule. And so if that is true, the molecule should look something like this. Oh, my pen. The molecule should look something like this. So now we have a double bond. We still have our nitrogen that now has 3 hydrogens. Okay, what do you know about nitrogen? 4 bonds, automatic +1 formal charge. Okay, now because we just formed water in that step, water is actually going to come in now. It's a great nucleophile. So what water does, it comes in and attack the carbonyl. So it attacks the carbonyl and actually displaces ammonia. So once it displaces ammonia as a leaving group, then we come to a structure that looks like this. Double bond, now this is bonded to an oxygen that has 3 bonds, automatic +1 formal charge. And then again, you could see water is going to come in and act as a base. Take one of these hydrogens off and give the oxygen in the form of lone pairs. And so we form benzoic acid. And so we form benzoic acid, plus we still, obviously we're still in acidic conditions. And we also form ammonia and H3. Okay, so that's the dehydration. So that's the nitrile chemistry to carboxylic acids. If we throw nitrile in any sort of acid, we get the carboxylic acid. Okay, so if we take CH3, C double bond and N, nitrile, and we throw this in acid, well, whatever you're gonna get, we're simply gonna get the carboxylic acid. In this case, we're gonna get acetic acid. So acetonitrile, you convert it to acetic acid using just basic acidic chemistry.